Most people blame their age for the reason they stop feeling athletic, when in all reality, it's because they stop training the things they need to train to continue to be athletic as they age. As a physical therapist, I spend a lot of my time working with the senior population, and the thing you hear often is kind of this blame on the reason they're not being able to do stuff is because of their age. I always tell them, aging is inevitable. We're all getting older. Every single day we're getting older, but being old is a choice. I've worked with 80-year-olds who act like they're 50, and I've worked with 30-year-olds who act like they're 80. I think the mindset that goes into training, the mindset that goes into how you feel about your body plays a huge role in how we approach our training, how we approach aging, and how overall we are able to enjoy our life as we age. So I want to walk through a framework that I've talked to with clients when it comes to thinking about how do we get the appropriate things into training? How do we make sure that we're not missing any of these components as we train? And then how do we get those into what they already love to do? I'll have some clients who really love yoga or Pilates, and that is all they do, or some clients who only like to run. And you have to kind of instruct them that, yes, I want to keep you doing those activities, but sometimes we have to do things other days a week that help us build up our strength, our power, our mobility, and allow us to keep us feeling athletic. That way we can do these activities for a long, long time. So I'm going to walk you through a framework that I talk to with my clients about how I approach this and what we need to do from a training standpoint to keep them feeling strong, active, and athletic. The first and foremost in this pillar or this framework is to me, the most important thing, and that is, are you consistent? We want to create training programs that allow you to be consistent. We don't want you breaking down or thinking that every workout needs to be pushed to the max. That is unsustainable, and in reality, it's unproductive. Often I'll see this, especially with some of my younger clients, where they feel like every workout needs to be pushed to the max. That is just unsustainable. It's not productive. And if you're a busy parent like me, I don't see the value of just beating myself up in the gym 6 days a week. That's not going to help me keep my goals. It's not going to allow me to do the things that I love, and it's actually going to lead to more burnout towards the end. So I want things that can be done consistent, not for 21 days, 90 days, a 75-day challenge. I want something that can be done for decades. That's to me where you build up the ability to handle the stress of the long road, and you make sure you're able to do the things you love for a long time instead of the ebbs and flows that come. That can often be more stressful and not get you the results that you want. So the next one we're going to focus on is daily movement. Every day doesn't have to be a day where you go to the gym and do a workout. It could be as simple as going for walks, getting some stretching in, biking, running, jogging. You can do things like rowing. I really don't care what the movement is. I just need daily movement. So at the end of the day, if you get home from work and you're like, man, I've been sitting for 8 hours, eat your dinner, go for a 20-minute walk. That 20-minute walk over every day for a week, a month, a year, that makes a difference. Getting your heart rate a little bit elevated, it's important. So daily movement is of utmost importance, and it's always something that I preach when working with people from a PT setting, even to my golf fitness clients. Making sure we're getting daily movement is the cornerstone of this framework. So the next few points are going to be more about the different components of movement, or kind of the buckets that I think of movement. And the first one we're going to talk about is strength. Everyone's familiar with strength. Everyone knows the importance of strength. It's a good predictor of longevity in terms of just able to do the things that we love. You're going to need strength to go up and down stairs. You're going to need strength to play with your kids. You're going to need strength to play with to play golf, to play pickleball, whatever your goals are. Strength's important. I think often sometimes we get lost in the weeds of what we need to be doing from a strength component. These sets, these reps, this type of exercise, that type of exercise. And I feel in all reality, if you look at a lot of the new research that's coming out or the data that comes with recommendations from the guidelines, we need to keep it very simple. We need 2 to 3 times a week. We need to be progressively adding different types of load. We need to challenge different patterns, whether it's a squat pattern, a hinge pattern, an upper body push or pull, a carry pattern. We don't need to make this overcomplicated. Again, a lot of the times when it comes to strength, if you're looking more for the bodybuilding or more the aesthetics, that's a different style approach. I'm talking to someone who just wants to feel fit and healthy and strong and capable. That's what it comes down to. I'm not really caring about what you look like with your shirt off. I'm caring about when you're 60, 70, or 80, are you independent and able to do the things that you love? To me, that is way more valuable and way more important. So when we preach strength, we want to challenge our body. We want to make sure we're using enough load to make us feel challenged, but we're not trying to beat ourselves up or chase aesthetic goals. That's not the purpose of this strength training. Because again, strength protects joints, improves bone density, and it makes life easier. So strength is the next step in that tempo framework. Next, we're going to talk about mobility. Mobility has been trending for a while now. It's been something that we always think about: hip mobility, thoracic mobility, ankle mobility. Those are all important drills and all important aspects that we want to continue to work on a daily, weekly basis. Again, it's just taking 5-10 minutes a couple days a week to work on those joints, get things moving. I don't want people spending a lot of time on this. That's the main thing. If you're a busy adult, busy parent, you don't have a lot of time, it should take 5 minutes 3 to 4 times a week. You do that again, weeks, months, years. That's where the secret sauce is. It's not something, you don't need some long drawn out routine. You don't need to spend 40 minutes on a foam roller. Simple, easy, effective. That's really what it comes down to. So again, mobility, think again of targeting those main joints of ankles, hips, thoracic spine, and shoulder. Next, we're going to talk about power. Now, power is something that we see in adults. They lose that a little more quickly than strength. So think about, you'll notice maybe in yourself or your parents that they're having a difficult time getting up off the floor. They're having a difficult time getting in and out of a chair. Being able to do things quickly is a skill that we want to make sure we're able to practice. So I want people doing med ball throws, jumping, sprinting. Again, I want to gradually introduce these concepts. I don't want to go from 0 to 100. If you haven't jumped or sprinted in months or years, it's not like we're going to go into this big plyometric program doing all these fancy jumps. Again, it's a graded exposure to those movements so that you build up the tissue tolerance to handle it. But again, power is super important, especially for like a sport that I enjoy, like golf, even running. I need to be powerful. I need to be able to express that power. So being able to do that in the gym a couple days a week is going to give me some confidence and give me the longevity that I want to keep doing those sports. Number 6 is balance and coordination. As adults get older, talk to anyone that's, over the age of 70, 75, fear of falling starts to creep in. And how do we make people feel more confident in their ability to go out and walk and move and not fear falls? It starts by training balance, coordination, making them feeling like they can get up and off the floor. We do that in various different ways. We challenge strength with single leg work. I'm a big proponent of single leg work. I think it's super effective, especially for our older population or any active adult, making sure you're doing single leg work. I want to make sure we're doing carries, change of direction drills, maybe even some skipping, things that just kind of get us on one leg, making us feel more reactive instead of kind of responding to the environment. We're already doing that in the gym. It's a safe environment to practice those things. If you fail, especially if I'm working with a client who's a little more fearful, I can be holding on to them. We can be practicing. There's many different ways we can do that, but making sure you feel balanced, coordinated is the next step in the framework. The final one is kind of that secret pillar that we, I think we talk about it, but can kind of get brushed over, and that's recovery. As you get older, you're going to need more time to recover. That's why I don't really want people busting their butt 6 days, 7 days in the gym, trying to go full go. Your body's eventually going to catch up to you. Making sure you're sleeping well, making sure you're eating well, make sure you have good social support. All of those things, to me, go into recovery. If you don't feel like you're getting enough sleep, we need to work on that. If you don't feel like you're getting enough protein, carbs, fat, we need to work on that. If you don't feel socially supported to go out and keep doing this, that's important as well. There's a huge component to recovery. It's not just the physical side, it's the mental side. We got to make sure those are good and make sure that we're not missing anything. So looking at that is kind of, again, a secret kind of pillar that I think often can get overlooked, or something that I think can kind of also attack in maybe the wrong ways. There's a lot of trends out there. There's vibration plates, saunas, cold plunges. Those are all well and great, but to me, if you just start with the foundation of sleep, nutrition, social support, that's to me the big crux. Focus on those, then you can add all the other adjuncts if you need to. They may not be as beneficial once you kind of figured out the other stuff. So again, the best training program to me isn't the most extreme one. It's the one you can be most consistent with. We'll have different videos where we go after each of these components of, like, here's what you do for strength training, here's what you should do for mobility. But again, I don't want it to feel like this is this extreme thing. I think that on the social media world is very flashy, it's very fun, but if you're a busy adult, you have a job, you have kids, it's hard to kind of buy into that. And I think it's just kind of bravado, it's ego, it's not really what we're trying to do when we're trying to help create longevity for the long run. So again, I think keeping it simple, we want everything to be simple, sustainable, and effective. I'll keep coming back to those terms. I want things to be simple to where they're repeatable. I want them to be sustainable for you can do them for decades to come, and I want them to be effective because they're actually creating change. That's the goal of all of this framework. So be consistent with it, get daily movement, Challenge your strength, mobility, power, balance, and coordination, and then recover. If you do those things, you're well on your way to creating a very healthy life, a life that allows you to keep enjoying the activities that you love and not spending all the time in the gym. Because the gym is just a place to allow us to go out and do the things that we love, not just spend day in and day out grinding on our body. We need to be able to go out and do those hobbies, be able to spend time with the people we love. That's what it comes down to. And that's why I'm a big proponent of thinking of this tempo framework from that mindset. So if you like this content and you want me to explain more, please like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. I'm hoping to share more content with this to help get people more active, more engaged with the physical, get more engaged with the physical side of life and push themselves to be the best versions of themselves, not for just today, but for decades to come.